Hey guys, we're going to work on our first client brief character design assignment. You guys are going to create a magic character, but I am going to create a warrior so that you do not copy directly any of my ideas. And I'm going to walk you through it step by step. And the very first thing I'm going to do, part one, is I am going to create 7 loose sketches. I'm going to keep these sketches loose. I'm not going to really focus on detail. I'm going to really focus on the body types, and I'm going to try and go for extremes. So I'm going to have a lot of different variety in my body types. So I'm thinking about a big guy with a low head, not too smart, almost like a hulking, lumbering guy with really little legs, more of a standard build, super buff dude, but not with the super exaggerated tiny legs. He's got smaller legs, and his head's up on top this time. Maybe kind of like a hunched, skinny guy. So I'm thinking. Maybe someone who's like not even big enough to wield their axe, someone bulky, kind of almost like square, heads like literally set into the body, a more elegant figure, someone who might be really good at being quick or finesse. And then my final one is kind of a fat guy with little short legs, a smaller head, and decent sized arms. And actually, that's the one I'm going to go with. So after you guys create your 7, I want you guys to put a star next to your favorite one. You've got 10 minutes to work on that, starting now. So I'm done with my 7. Now I'm going to take the one I put a star next to, and I'm going to create 5 different versions of it. So I'm going to try and push and pull in different directions. This time I'm making my legs a little bigger. I'm kind of generally making him normal-ish proportions, but much, much fatter and more lumpy, kind of. This guy's going to be so heavy that he's kind of like spilling out along the sides. Thinking about creating more folds and ripples, and even the joints are going to kind of have folds and ripples around them. So that was one of my thoughts. Creating another one that's more skinny but with like a big fat belly. Messing around, playing with some of the head shapes here that you could see. Definitely running out of room because I need to have 5 here, sorry. I need to have 5, but I'm running out of space on the paper. So the final guy here, he's got a little head, a big body, good-sized arms, and teeny tiny legs. And once again, the final one that I did, that's the one that I'm going to go with. I kind of like the exaggerated proportions of him. This is the one that I'm thinking. And if you need more paper to do your 5, that's okay. I just kind of squeezed my last 2 down at the bottom. So do your 5 and make a star. Alright, so now I'm going to take that one that I starred, and I'm going to create 3 different versions of it. And I'm going to mess around, and I'm going to play around with different concepts. What kind of equipment, what kind of physical attributes they might have, what other kinds of characteristics can I incorporate. And the first guy I create, he's kind of like a Trojan warrior. He's got some ancient Trojan attributes and equipment. So I'm just really kind of putting that stuff together, but playing with that body size and that exaggerated form that I came up with. Remember, you are creating different ideas and trying things out. All right, here's my second one. This one I'm making him a little more muscular. Maybe his arms and legs are going to be like a little bigger. And here I'm thinking of kind of a random pieced together gladiator kind of guy. So I'm thinking about how his equipment is mismatched and, maybe trying to be a little more scary or a little rough around the edges. He's not a soldier, he's a gladiator who's just kind of been given a variety of different armors and things and equipment to try and battle in the arenas. So I'm just kind of building some of this stuff, thinking about it while I'm working. How would this line up? How do some of the spikes come from behind the ball, some from the front? Um, Rough tunic here, no shirt at all. So that's my second idea. My third idea is going to be like a Pacific Islander guy, and I'm going to give him a grass skirt and a skull mask and some other kinds of cool things. I wanted to kind of really push the envelope on how different he could be from the other ones. I also am adding a lot more detail to these, but I'm still kind of keeping them loose and rough. These are still idea sketches and are not my final project. So I can play with ideas and I don't have to get hung up on how it's turning out. I can just kind of play around and throw some different stuff on there. I gave him a bracelet with some grass and some um, beads on it, and I also, I'm just thinking about how he might have a different non-traditional sword and stuff like that. In the end, I actually end up combining the pose of the gladiator with the attributes of the Pacific Island warrior. So I'm just kind of thinking about how those two things can kind of come together. But again, these are just my sketches and I'm playing with ideas. So this is your last activity today. You're going to try out 3 totally different concepts using the simple body shape, and you're going to kind of build with accessories and details to try and start developing an idea of where your character is going to go. Now remember, I'm doing warriors, so you don't just copy my idea, but that's not what your client brief says. You're trying to do something different. So pay attention to the client brief and go from there.